Hello, Earth family. Hope you are well and thriving. So it looks like America is open for business in some states. So just curious how you're feeling about that. I know that some scientific experts are worried that we're going to feel that it's normal to go out and forget our protocol of washing our hands and wearing our masks. So hopefully you're taking good care of yourself and you're not a match energetically to the coronavirus. So let me dive in. This is the energy update for April 27th. We've been through a lot for the last couple of months. Right now we're in the Taurus, we just had the Taurus new moon. We're in Taurus season. I kind of briefly alluded to it. Taurus is all about material things, right? It's an earth sign. So maybe this is a really good time to, redecorate, spruce up your house, make it a little cozy since you've got at least a week to go, I think, in Indiana. I'm not sure what state you're in watching this, but anyway, so it's a good time to kind of, make your house feel pretty and have those material things, because that's a very Taurus thing to want, to have those earthly things that make us feel good. Also with Taurus, it's concerned with cash and cash flow, right? So even those of us that are really spiritual, we're starting to have concerns about cash flow. Like I know for the last couple of months, I haven't had any new clients. So definitely, you're feeling the burn for a lot of small business owners. The PP loan ran out. They have round two. We haven't heard back yet. Some people have been furloughed or laid off. I know some of my clients have. So they're applying for unemployment. That's been a frustrating process. There is a waiting period, on a lot of claims, even for people who are contractors or self-employed. They get denied, and then you have to wait for the PUA, right, for the new unemployment program. So anyway, so there's a lot of frustration for a lot of people with cash flow, which makes sense astrologically because we are in the season of Taurus. So if that's you, just feel the frustration, process it, give it some light, allow the shadow to come up, and then just know that the universe has your back, that you are provided for. And maybe that's earthing some bag lady fears or fears about money that most of us have. Most of us have a complicated relationship with money. That's why I did the virtual workshop, Money Mindset. So that's something to think about. Also, along the line of astrology, I'm not an astrologer, but I really love following Lada with astrolada.com. She has a great YouTube channel, and she's one of the most practical astrologers, because she talks about kind of the trends and how it's affecting us on a day-to-day basis, and she's been spot on. I highly recommend watching her April forecast, which talks about turning crisis into opportunity. She talks about the millionaire junction. It's interesting because I'm somebody who's just very intuitive, and so I think I talked to you guys about, just naturally wanting to invest in research companies and learn new things, and that's very much in the astrology for all of us in the collective. Not everyone has the millionaire junction. She talked about how, Trump does, and Warren Buffett and things like that, and they've been able to make their millions and fortunes during times of crisis, whether it was in the 70s or in 2008, things like that. So definitely recommend watching that one, because she really breaks it down. And so we've already felt kind of some of those energies in March and April, the market's starting to pick up. So for those of us that, did take the risk and invested when stocks were bargain basement prices and people were selling because they're fearful, and there's still opportunity now. So it's not too late for you if you want to jump in the stock market, and if you're fearless and patient, and if you mastered your mind and emotions, and you're not gonna sell at the first sign of fright. So there's still an opportunity there. So again, that's Jupiter and Pluto conjunction. We are just finishing up that cycle. It comes every 12 to 13 years, and the last time it happened was 2008 with our economic crisis. And as I mentioned earlier, the Warren Buffetts and a lot of these folks made, millions, billions, in riding out that wave and kind of being brave enough and knowing that, after every bear market or correction, that we definitely have a roaring bull market. So it's important to look for the opportunity in the crisis, and to make, the silver linings, like I said last week. Something else that I want to talk about. So besides learning about stocks and these new things, or ways to become abundant and kind of leave the past behind, and stop with your, whatever former patterns of suffering, a lot of us I've had to, do a major purge. I just totally cleaned out my closet on Sunday and got a text from my client that she did the same. So there was this energy of purging, right? I've been taking some bentonite clay and just celery seed, doTERRA essential oil, which is amazing for just pulling out toxins and things like that. So right now we're going through this process of ascension. We're obviously spiritual beings having a human experience, but our body's very dense. It's still carbon. It's moving into that crystallized kind of 5D state. And so we're needing to enlighten, that's what it means, shed light on the shadow and whatever things we've been hanging on to on a cellular somatic level. And that's what a lot of my private sessions do, is we release trauma and shadow and, low vibration and density, on a somatic cellular level that's very non-invasive. And right now, actually, as a celebration of, things opening back up and us, surviving this 2-month, challenge period of quarantine, my packages are 10 to 15% off in April. So hit me up, message me if you're interested in learning more. And actually even my online courses are 50% off, the Lifestyle Thrive and Reset. It's a $6,000 value, and if you take them guided with me, it'll only be $3,000. So it's a great deal for you to detox your body. That's Lifestyle Thrive, and Reset is all about that, about well-being, manifestation, clearing and healing past traumas. So again, hit me up if you're interested in learning more. They're great courses, and I actually had a client say that it's the best online course that she's ever taken, which is super amazing to hear. So purging is important at this time, and cleaning out your closet, doing some of the things that Marie Kondo talks about, which is, giving away or getting rid of. I just threw a bunch of clothes away and gave so many away that no longer bring me joy, or were sitting in the closet that needed mending and just were simply beyond repair. So it's just time to let things go, literally, not just on a physical level, but on a material level. Especially in Taurus season. So I really encourage you to do some spring cleaning and spruce up your house and get rid of what doesn't serve. It's quite amazing when you do feng shui or move energy around or do cleaning. I mean, it's really impactful and it's life-changing. It sounds very superficial, but actually on an energetic level, it is huge, because your environment, your sanctuary, right, really affects who you are. And if you have a cluttered closet or cluttered space, it really affects a cluttered mind. And so if you want that clarity, especially moving forward in these uncertain times and kind of rebuilding, and that is actually a really great segue for the next thing that I want to talk about. Right now, we're also experiencing reinvention, right? We've had a couple of months in the cocoon, in that yin state of, being home and things slowing down and the world coming to a standstill, and Mother Earth saying like, okay, let's take a beat, let me cleanse myself, let me purify myself, and you need to stay home, we're in a timeout. So, regardless if you were working at home or you lost your job or you're a small business like myself that have got really hit hard, it's been a period of self-reflection, and it's been a period, of transformation, hopefully. A lot of people, I've had time to really look at some of the things that are working, that aren't working, and kind of moving forward, what do they want to create, right, for their dream realities. So a lot of people have dreamed of staying home from work for a month, right? Never thought that it would happen this way, but hopefully you've taken advantage of that time, learned some new things. I talked about how I've just, learning all this like potential. Like right now there's this energy, Lada talks about like this Iron Man energy of like where it's going to be an uphill climb where you have to have a lot of will and willpower, but you just have to stick with it and kind of cultivate some of these new things that are budding, that are going to give you abundance over the next 12 or 13 years, with that millionaire conjunction with Jupiter and Pluto, because we are on this 12-13 year cycle. So it's really important to kind of, look at like what things have you learned, right? I jokingly talk about like the baking, right? So I was like baking banana muffins, like my life depended on it. And funny enough, I was just, I was just reading about coronavirus trends, and like right now the third trend, like the first was hoarding, toilet paper and, hand sanitizer and things like that. And then the second trend was, doing Zoom happy hours with your friends. I know some of my clients are doing that. I don't drink, and there's no judgment in that, but just just FYI, there is no good or bad, but alcohol definitely does lower the vibrational field, the energetic field. So I choose to not engage. And also, just besides of like obviously the physical harm that it does to your liver and things like that, it's also a numbing agent for a lot of people. So especially in this time where I was talking about, shadows coming up and, traumas and things like that we're having to feel to heal, when we use numbing agents, including comfort food and alcohol and things like that, or just any addictive agent, fill in the blank, that's a program. And that's really numbing and shutting down what wants to come to the surface and be seen. And really, with this ascension process, it's all about allowing the darkness, allowing the shadow to come up and loving it and allowing it to be transmuted and be alchemized, right? Like alchemy is turning lead into gold. So anyway, no judgment about that, but that was the second trend. And then the third trend has been making banana bread, right? And it's funny because I was like doing it and I feel like I was like tapped into the collective pulse, right? And I was reading like why banana bread, and they were saying, well, first of all, it's like cheap ingredients. A lot of us have our bananas going bad. Actually, my badass batch was like doing it with, frozen bananas. And the other reason is it's comfort food, right? And it's very nostalgic. It reminds us of our childhood. And there's something very comforting about, warm food coming out of the oven and the smell, and it just kind of hits all those senses. And also just like, with banana bread as well, besides being like comforting and yummy and things like that, carbs, right? Like serotonin, dopamine, all these like feel good, hormones and, are just like going through our body, right? So anyway, so that's really, really important to make sure that you are feeling good, that you're giving yourself opportunity to learn new things. So just back to the learning new things thing, I kind of went on a tangent with the baking. But with the learning new things, like I said, I'm still loving studying stocks, I mowed the lawn yesterday. It was a gorgeous sunny day. And so just kind of continuing to cultivate those skills. I'm actually also, studying real estate, which is actually a lot harder than it looks. So anyway, so it's been really fun to kind of tap into that, as I was talking about Johari's window, that fourth quadrant of the unknown. And that's really what this has been about. So it's a really time to transform. It's a time to reinvent. It's a time to really face the demons and the shadows. It's time to learn new things. It's a time to retool, right? Like for me, I'm like, okay, this is great. I love doing what I do and coaching and things like that, but maybe it's time to start a second company that's more accessible to people, right? Which is, helping sell homes and feng shui them and energetically heal homes and things like that. So just think about your transferable skills and how you can kind of, pivot. Because a lot of businesses are pivoting, a lot of people are pivoting, and what kind of things that you can kind of take on board and surprise yourself. So that's about it for now. We're still in the shadow in Venus. We're approaching Venus going into retrograde May 13th, so still be on the lookout for that. A lot of relationships will be impacted. And just like some of us, I feel like a lot of women that I coach and serve as a healing guide to, and they're ahead of the curve as far as their partners are concerned. So it's important to also understand that some of us are really kind of living from this 5D, and we've really done a lot of the inner work, whereas our partners may not. Maybe they're resisting change. Maybe they're still kind of hanging on to their old ways, or still self-medicating with smoking or whatever, and just not allowing themselves to do that really deep inner healing work. I think what's really important that I've learned is we can't change anyone, and it's really important to take care of ourselves, love ourselves, and not expect that to come from outside of ourselves, because we are love. And regardless what's happening outside of us, even with this situation and all these unknowns, it's really important to find that center, to find that safety, to feel safe in your body, to find comfort within yourself. And that's really true self-mastery, right? And that's true emotional freedom, is regardless of what's happening today, do you choose to be happy? Like for me, I'm going to choose to be happy regardless of how my partner is feeling, regardless of what mood they're in, regardless if it's sunny or raining, regardless if I have millions in the bank or I'm running low on cash or whatever, because really it is an inside job, right? That's why I called the practice inside job healing, because it's starts within, and we are co-creating our reality. So love you lots. Again, it's Rena with insidejobhealing.com.